Now on KZI 9 News at 4, a good deed doesn't go unpunished. A thief steals thousands of dollars slated for a children's charity. We'll hear from the owner about how much was lost. Plus, a shortage on rental cars at the Eugene Airport. What's now being done to keep up with the increasing number of people flying into Eugene.
And we've had plenty of clouds move across the area today, but we have a lot more sunshine in our forecast. I'll have a closer look as KEZI 9 News at 4 starts now.
Live, local, late breaking. This is KEZI 9 News at 4.
We begin this afternoon in Eugene, where 10 transients were kicked out of a home on Bethel Drive. Thank you for joining us. I'm Bob Schaefer. KEZI 9 News reporter Macy Highland spoke to neighbors near the home. She joins us live in studio with what they had to say about this. Macy?
Well, Bob, more than one neighbor I spoke with said they have a big problem with the number of transients in the area. But one neighbor told me it just saddens him to see people left without a home. Eugene police responded to a home on Bethel Drive to assist city code enforcement after complaint calls about the squatters. After searching different entrances of the house and knocking on them, police caught the transients sneaking out the front door. All 10 were cited for criminal trespassing and 3 were arrested on previous warrants. A couple of neighbors say this is just one example of the incidents they've witnessed with the homeless population, but one neighbor felt a little differently.
I've been living here for about 5 or 6 years, and we haven't had a single issue. No car break-ins, not a single issue.
Tilly tells me he's definitely noticed the number of transients in the area, and he takes precautions when they're necessary, but says they've never been a threat to him or his family. One neighbor I spoke to felt very differently about the matter. She said she and her family are going so far as to move because of the problems with the homeless in the area. She didn't want to go on camera saying she was scared to do so. For now, the house remains vacant with the doors hanging open. It's been deemed a dangerous dwelling. Live in the studio, Macy Highland, KEZI 9 News.
Okay, Macy, thank you very much. Now to a tragedy in California. A group from Oregon was driving near Mendocino when their SUV plunged off a cliff, killing 2 women and 3 children. The 2 women were from West Lynn. Officials will only say the kids are from the Oregon-Washington state area. The California Highway Patrol says their SUV went off a cliff along Highway 1 near Westport yesterday afternoon. That vehicle flipped as it fell and landed on the roof on a large rock in the ocean. Emergency crews worked into the night to get the victims out. Troopers say a lot of people pull off on those dirt turnouts on the road to take photos and have picnics. Now to Douglas County, where crews are investigating a fire that broke out at a Dillard home late last night. This happened just after 11:30 on 127 5th. Crews say they arrived to find the home with heavy black smoke coming out at the front door and fire in the attic. Crews say they got that fire under control just after 1:30 this morning. Everybody living there made it out okay, but the home was pretty badly damaged. Officials believe the fire may have started near the wood stove. Now new at 4, investigators are looking for whoever broke into a Salem brewery and stole thousands of dollars in donations that were supposed to go to sick children. KGW's Mike Benner spoke with the business owner about what happened.
At Gilgamesh Brewing in South Salem, one of the top sellers is the Terry Porter. And it's a good thing, because $1 from every pint goes to the Dornbecker Children's Hospital Foundation.
And then we also encourage all of our customers to, take some shots and throw in their dollar bills too.
As you can see in this photo, all of those dollar bills are kept in a tall glass tower at the brewery's front door.
We've been able to raise over $100,000 for the cause since we started this program. So it's been really successful.
Making what happened early Monday morning all the more devastating.
They came through the tent, they pried the door open.
Gilgamesh's co-owner, Matt Radke, says somebody broke in through a back door, shattered the glass tower, and stole those donations designated for sick kids.
Oh, it's incredibly disheartening. I think it'd be pretty hard to not know where the money was going. It was all over the glass case.
Radke says it's hard to tell how much the thief or thieves got away with, but he believes somewhere in the neighborhood of $3,000.
Unfortunately, there's, dishonest people everywhere. We're not big as Portland, but we're big. We're big enough to have problems.
Only thing is, this problem hurts the most vulnerable children.
Have to look on the bright side of it.
Which doesn't sit well with brewery management.
Instead of getting too caught up with the negative, we want to kind of double down on the positive. Yeah, maybe it'll be Monopoly money next time.
That is such a shame. Well, Gilgamesh plans to make back some of that stolen money by holding an auction next month. You can also go to the brewery's website and make a donation for yourself.
Now, your first forecast with Chief Meteorologist Marissa Walzen.
Well, it's been an all right day outside. Temperatures started off on the mild side this morning in the 40s, and now we are looking at the 50s in many spots. The one thing that I think we're missing, the sunshine. I would like to see the sunshine just as much as you, but right now we do have plenty of clouds here in Corvallis, even in Eugene, looking at cloudy conditions. We slide into the Umpqua Basin, Roseburg, a pretty cloudy day here as well. Out along the coast, seeing the most sunshine, but still rather cloudy here in Florence. But as we slide farther to the south, Coos Bay, North Bend, yes, some clouds, but also some sun breaks. Now, as we get into tomorrow, though, I do expect some sunshine, though it is going to take us a bit of time to get to that point. Right now, we're 55 in North Bend, and as we take a look at temperatures, also to your north, 55 in Reedsport, though to your south, Bandon at 53, 59 in Myrtle Point, and then inland, looking at a mix of 50s in Roseburg, popping up to 60 degrees, but you have even some warmer temperatures on the way. 50s through the eastern part of the Willamette Valley, 30s across the Cascade Passes, and as we slide to the west, 50s along the coast, as well as western part of the Willamette Valley up into Albany. I'll have a closer look, though, at the warmer temperatures on the way and the sunshine, and if that'll all stick around through the Easter weekend coming up in just a bit. Bob?
Okay, Marissa, thank you very much. Well, some travelers from the Eugene airport are out of luck this week because they're out of rental cars. KEZI 9 News reporter Jessica Babb spoke with airport officials to find out what's behind this shortage. Jess?
Airport officials say they're out of rental cars due to high demand. They say that more people have been traveling to the area, and because it's spring break, they've been keeping the cars longer. Officials say this only impacts people who didn't make a reservation before they traveled. They say this has happened before and is common during high traffic times like breaks and holidays. Airport Director Tim Dahl says right now space at the airport is limited.
We are trying to add some more space that we can have more rental cars for this in the future, but space is not available right now.
Dahl says with the airport quickly growing, they're working to fix the problem. Dahl says in the next few months, they're considering adding 2 more rental car companies, and more long-term, they're doing assessments to see where they can pave in order to have space to put more rental cars. But in the meantime, Dahl says passengers should plan ahead and reserve cars before they travel. For this week, Dahl expects cars to become available around Thursday or Friday. Coming up at 5, hear why some community members say that this is the reason for why services like Uber and Lyft are needed in the area. Reporting in Eugene, Jessica Babb, KEZI 9 News.
Okay, Jessica, thank you very much. Well, a controversial lawsuit filed by a 20-year-old who tried to buy a rifle from Field & Stream. That's a store owned by Dick's Sporting Goods. That lawsuit is moving forward. A Jackson County judge heard from both Tyler Watson and Dick's. Tyler Watson's attorney asked the court to grant a temporary restraining order against the store. The request said there was some immediate and irreparable damage to Watson's rights because he wasn't allowed to buy a gun. The judge denied the request.
The court heard our side of the story and decided that this was not an appropriate matter for a temporary restraining order to be issued. So we were successful in that matter.
The store no longer allows people under the age of 21 to buy weapons. The restraining order would have forced the store to temporarily stop carrying out that new policy. Watson's attorney says although they lost this battle, the case is far from over. Today, Governor Kate Brown signs 2 bills and issues an executive order calling addiction and substance abuse a public health crisis. Brown says it's an effort to take the shame out of getting help. The proposed bills are supposed to lay the framework for measures to provide treatment for addiction. A new congressional report says prescription drug prices are rising at nearly 10 times the rate of inflation. This broke down the cost of the 20 most prescribed medications for seniors over the past 5 years. The highest spike, a chest pain reliever that went up 477%. A pharmaceutical group sharply criticized the report, calling it, quote, misleading. In managing marijuana now, hemp could make a comeback as a crop. Monday, Senate Majority Leader Mitch McConnell previewed legislation to free the plant from its ties to marijuana. He says under the bill, hemp would be removed from the controlled substances list. The measure seeks to legalize hemp as an agricultural commodity. And the future of marijuana in Josephine County is up in the air. Commissioners are trying to figure out what to do next after the Land Use Board of Appeals rejected the county's law that restricts pot farming. Commissioners want tougher restrictions for marijuana farmers, but since they didn't send notices to all land users who could be affected, the ordinance was rejected.
There's some growers out there that are following all the rules. They're doing exactly what they're supposed to do, and they don't have anything to worry about.
Commissioners say that adopting Jackson County's marijuana rules could be a possibility. Some marijuana farmers say this is an option they're open to. All right, coming up, as crews continue to clean an oil spill in the Mackenzie, we're learning that same spill is now impacting some local businesses. You're going to hear from them coming up at 4:30. But first, everything you need to know if you still have gift cards or online orders on the way from Toys R Us. We'll have that story for you next on KZI 9 News at 4.
Live, local, late breaking. This is KEZI 9 News at 4 with Bob Schaefer and Chief Meteorologist Marissa Walzen.
One by one, Toys R Us stores across the whole country are closing their doors for good. So what do you need to know if you still have gift cards or coupons? Well, KZI 9 News anchor Matt Templeman is live in the studio with today's Money Alert. Matt?
All right, with this big announcement, Bob, and stay with me here, put your seatbelt on, with the announcement that Toys R Us and Babies R Us stores will begin liquidating. Also came new rules about online orders, gift cards, registries, and so on. So here's what you need to know. Again, follow me here. The liquidation ends in June, but stores will close before then if they run out of merchandise. So when it comes to gift cards, including Endless Earnings e-gift cards for the baby registry, those will be accepted through April 21st. Refunds are a little bit trickier now. If you bought something during the liquidation sales, you're out of luck, stuck with whatever you got. However, purchases made at non-liquidating stores before March 22nd can be returned until the 21st of April for store credit only. Now for online sales, the websites will be open for a limited time and orders placed before the liquidation began will be delivered. Loyalty rewards and coupons, sorry, those cannot be redeemed. Now, if you have something on layaway, you'll be notified that you have 21 days to pay your balance and claim the item or request a refund of your deposit. Otherwise, it will be sold by the liquidators. And if you have a baby registry, we mentioned that, you will be able to access it as long as the website's up. However, no new registries at this point are being accepted. Live in the studio, Matt Templeman, KEZI 9 News.
Lots of great information there. Thank you, Matt. Well, a Pennsylvania-based ceiling tiles manufacturer announced it's going to lay off 136 workers when it closes its St. Helens plant in May. Armstrong World Industries, Inc. said employees who lose their jobs at the St. Helens plant would be able to apply for new jobs at other plants within the country. Severance packages would be given to others who will no longer be working for that company. Oregon City is one of the 3 winners of the 2018 Great American Main Street Award. The awards is presented by National Main Street Center, Inc. That's the country's leading nonprofit dedicated to commercial district revitalization. Oregon City has undergone an inspiring revival, the town's evolution from pioneer oasis to an industrial center to the dynamic cultural destination that residents and visitors enjoy today. Congratulations to Oregon City. And there's a new way to visit the University of Oregon campus, and you don't even have to leave the comfort of your living room. The school rolled out a new virtual reality video aimed at helping make potential students make their decision. The school mailed duck-themed goggles to every newly admitted student. The goggles give a 360-degree view of campus with nearly 100 different experiences to view. The school says this is an experience created for students by students.
We partnered with some students in our program for the School of Journalism, and they helped us sort of build all this together, and they told us, no, that's not cool, or this is cool, build in that content, or this is my favorite thing. And so we worked with them to sort of craft it all together.
Now, if you want to check out the 360-degree experience yourself, we have some great news. You actually don't need those glasses. All you have to do is download the UO 360 app or go to the school's website. That's such a great idea for, people who are interested in coming here that live a long way off. Okay, speaking of schools, it is spring break for a lot of schools in our area, and there's no better way to celebrate than by heading to the coast for some good old-fashioned whale watching. The Oregon Parks and Recreation Department says it's happening now until this Saturday. Gray whales are headed back north past the Oregon coast during those dates. Trained volunteers will be stationed every day at 24 sites along the coast. They'll be helping people spot these fabulous animals. I've been to Depot Bay, and it's just great. Cape Perpetua, even Florence. So get out there and look at some whales. Marissa?
Well, if you're planning on heading to the coast, here's your live Traffic 9 update. We have actually pretty good driving conditions, a lot of green here in Coos Bay and North Bend, meaning we're not really looking at any slowing down or slow down areas. As we slide a little bit farther to the north, we do have some construction around Reedsport. We also still have the construction across the bridge over the Siuslaw River just to the south of Florence. And then even farther to the north, though, a lot of green, meaning travel along Highway 101 pretty good. You are going to see plenty of clouds right now. Tomorrow, maybe some patchy fog. And then we have a lot more sunshine on the way out. A close look at your forecast next.
Now, Storm Tracker 9 weather with Chief Meteorologist Marissa Walzan.
Well, it is spring break, and if you are planning on traveling across the mountain passes, you're still looking at some great driving conditions. Right now, we do have some dry roadways, Willamette Pass and Highway 138, but Santiam Pass, we've had rain snow mix throughout the day, mainly on the rainy side, though, because that snow line is climbing above pass levels, where it is going to stay as we get into the rest of this week. Temperatures right now a bit warmer than yesterday. We are in the low to mid 50s along the coastline. Coolest spot in Newport at 50 degrees. Along I-5, though, a bit warmer, mid to upper 50s, even 60 degrees in Roseburg. And then once you get across the mountain passes, looking at the mid 30s. Now, we have had a couple of light showers today, mainly into the mountains of Lynn County and then farther to the north, and then also in parts of Lincoln County. But for most of us, we've actually just had mostly cloudy skies, maybe a couple peaks of the sunshine here or there, but many of us have actually just kept the cloudy conditions. As we take a look to our west, where our weather will be coming from as we get into tonight, we're still going to see more clouds push across the area, but once we get into late tomorrow, we are going to expect more sunshine, as we are eventually going to start to see the storms that are to our northwest push even farther to our north, and we'll be under high pressure, which will keep us nice and dry. So taking a look at Storm Tracker 9 Stormcast, we're going to start things off tonight at 5 o'clock, continuing all the way through about midnight tonight. We'll see, yes, more clouds moving through, but I also expect some patchy fog to develop in the inland valleys and along the coast. We fast forward through about 6 a.m. Yes, Stormcast is trying to bring in a couple of light sprinkles along the coastline, maybe some drizzle. Otherwise, we will start off the day with plenty of clouds before those clouds start to break apart by the time we get to about lunchtime. Looking at partly cloudy skies, maybe some patchy fog left by this point, but will continue to clear by the afternoon and evening. And we will end tomorrow with mostly clear skies, and we'll keep things fairly clear as we head into your Thursday, as well as for most of your day on Friday. So for the coast tomorrow, some patchy fog early, then we'll gradually clear. Highs are going to be a little bit warmer than even today, so highs will be closer to that 60-degree mark, but I think many of us will fall short, just staying in the upper 50s. The Umpqua Basin, though, we've made it to 60 degrees today. Likely we'll tack on another degree or two. Tomorrow we'll be in the low to mid 60s, looking at some patchy fog early, then more sunshine for the second half of the day. Cascades looking at upper 50s in the foothills, upper 40s across the mountain passes, looking at fewer clouds and also fewer showers than what we've had today. And finally, for the Willamette Valley, looking at temperatures near 60 degrees as we get into tomorrow, so also tacking on a few degrees from what we have this afternoon. But taking a look at the 7-day forecast, we don't stop there. We'll reach the 60s. Now it's looking like Saturday is going to be the warmest day before, yes, more clouds and some showers will push in next week. Right now, Easter is looking pretty good, partly sunny skies and temperatures in the upper 50s. Now, the Umpqua Basin will get close to 70 degrees Thursday through Saturday. Definitely not going to rule out some places actually making it to that 70-degree mark before we do get cooler temperatures moving in as we move into next week. Cascade passes. Travel will be fine the next couple of days. Unfortunately, we are going to see some snow melt with a higher snow line and warmer temperatures moving into the Cascades. And finally, for the Willamette Valley, we'll continue to see the 60s from here on out through the rest of the week and even into Easter Sunday there, Bob. On Sunday, right now, it is looking partly sunny. There is a storm that's knocking on our door coming in on Monday.
Okay.
But so far, looking pretty good through the rest of the week and into the weekend.
I'm like you. I'm waiting for the sunshine, but I'm very encouraged by the warmth.
Yes.
It was a lot warmer today, and it's going to be
Thank
warmer
goodness.
tomorrow, you said.
Oh, yes. Yep. By a couple of degrees, but it'll
That's
be
nice. All right. Thanks, Marissa.
Mm-hmm.
Interesting story. An Ashland couple spotted a cougar in their backyard over the weekend. Check that out. They caught the moment on camera. In the video, you can see that cougar looking straight into the camera. The Oregon Department of Fish and Wildlife say it's not unusual to find cougars wandering into backyards.
Well, it's pretty common for people in Southern Oregon to encounter cougars. We get a lot of cougars calls into our office, even in urban areas that might surprise people.
I know there was one up in Leeburg, too, over the weekend. The Oregon Department of Fish and Wildlife says it's recorded over 80 cougar sightings in the last year. Local biologists say cougars in our area have been seen the most in East Medford, Jacksonville, and down in Shady Cove. Okay, double trouble, back at it again. Speaking of a couple killers, look at these dogs. The pair of Dachshunds still waiting for their ever home. I'm teasing, of course. They're extremely lovable. Don't go away.
Welcome back, everybody. It is Tuesday. It is time for Pet of the Week, and today we have Janice from Green Hill Humane Society. It's not often that I get to actually hold one of the Pets of the Weeks, but definitely get to this one. Just telling me all about it. So who are these guys here?
Well, these sweet ladies are a bonded pair of dachshunds. They are seniors, and Gidget here has some special needs. She is blind, and she relies on her sister, Mandy, to help lead her around.
Okay.
They are looking for their forever home where they could maybe have some human siblings, 14 years or older, and have a safe environment where there wouldn't be lots of stumbling blocks for Gidget.
Keep the obstacles clear.
Right. So they're just great little lap dogs. Still have good energy levels, even though they are older.
Okay.
And just real love bugs.
No, they seem very sweet. Gidget here is, she seems a little nervous in my arm, but we'll get over that, no problem. Now, there's a lot going on, you said, in the Green Hill world.
That's right. We have the Laugh Off this Sunday at 6 p.m. at Actors Cabaret. There's still a few tickets left. If you hurry, you can come out and see some of the funniest comics in Eugene. And we also have Bark in the Park coming up Sunday, May 20th.
I was thinking about that. Bark in the Park. It's that time of year again, isn't it? Almost.
It is. So get your teams ready and start training with your dogs.
Is that in May?
Sunday, May 20th at Alton Baker Park.
Okay.
You can register online.
Okay.
And it's $25, and there'll be lots of prizes.
It's the biggest event of the year.
It is.
All right. Well, if you are interested in adopting Gidget here, and Mandy and Gidget here, these little cute dachshunds, contact Green Hill Humane Society. Their number is there on the screen, 541-689-1503, or you can go to our website. We'll have more information there at kezi.com. Thanks very much, Janice.
Thank you.
Those dogs are so cute. We got to find them a home soon, all right? Speaking of dogs, a couple of kinds of dog treats are being recalled because they may contain too much beef thyroid hormone. Both treats are Milo's Kitchen brand made by the J.M. Smucker Company. The recall involves the grilled burger bites with sweet potato and bacon and the steak grillers recipe with Angus steak. Sound pretty good, right? Well, the FDA says the food can make dogs extra thirsty and restless and lead to weight loss and increased heart rate. The company voluntarily issued the recalls after reports that at least 3 dogs got sick. Crews are working to clean an oil spill in the McKenzie River, and now we're learning how that same spill is impacting at least one local business. Plus, protecting your privacy. We take a look at the ways you can keep your personal data private and out of the hands of social media companies like Facebook. And do you have a tip or story idea? Because we want to hear it. You can email us at listens@kzi.com or just give us a ring at 284-KEZI. Let's go take a peek at Roseburg right now. Pretty cloudy, but still, you know, looks nice and warm. Dry at least. We'll be right back.
Live, local, late breaking. This is KEZI 9 News at 4.
Welcome back. Crews are continuing to clean the McKenzie River after the spill that happened earlier this month, about 2 weeks ago. KEZI 9 News reporter Brady Wakayama went to the river earlier today and spoke to one local fly fishing business owner on how the cleanup is impacting his business.
I'm here on the McKenzie River where crews continue their cleanup efforts. However, as they continue to clean the river, many local fly fishing shops are hurting. Officials with the Oregon Department of Environmental Quality say on March 13th, about 200 gallons of hydraulic oil leaked from the International Paper Facility in Springfield. I spoke with Jason Mintzner, who owns Home Water's fly fishing shop in Eugene. He told me since the oil spill, business has been pretty slow. Mintzner has owned Home Water's fly fishing shop for 4 years and says during this time of year, it's usually thriving. But that's not the case this year because of the oil spill.
Well, we've had trips canceled. We'd have to manipulate some trips, maybe go upriver or downriver. And just the word on the street, people hear there's been an oil spill in the McKenzie, they're probably not likely to travel to Eugene to go fishing.
Lane County officials say the river will be closed to all boat traffic between the Hayden Bridge boat ramp and the Mohawk River. They say boaters should avoid that area. The Hendricks Bridge and the Bellinger boat ramps will also be closed while crews clean up the area.
DEQ officials say that they plan on running more tests on the pipe tomorrow to see if there's any sheen in the water and to see if they need to do any additional cleanup. Reporting in Springfield, Brady Wakayama, KZI 9 News.
I tell you, the spill has impacted a lot of people. Thank you, Brady. Springfield Animal Control is asking for help finding the owner of 2 dogs. Officials say the owner tied both of them up near the West D boat landing with a note stating she had become recently homeless and had no other choice. Animal Control is trying to make contact with the owner. Officers say there are resources locally for voluntarily surrendering animals. You don't have to just tie them up like that.
Now, your first forecast with Chief Meteorologist Marissa Walzen.
Well, it has been another cloudy day out there. Temperatures, though, have been a bit warmer than yesterday, so baby steps to our sunnier and warmer weather. Right now here on Storm Checker 9, satellite and radar, you can see there are a couple showers, but mainly to our north. Satellite, though, definitely showing all of the clouds here in western Oregon. And as we slide into Corvallis, you can see, yes, some clouds still hanging rather low close to the valley floor. We are looking to the southwest, so kind of hard to see Mary's Peak out there in the distance, but it is still out there. That hasn't moved. At least we can see Spencer Butte, and there's no longer any snow there at the top because that snow line is actually continuing to climb. We're seeing some warmer air move in across all of western Oregon, and we have even warmer temperatures expected as we get into tomorrow and then Thursday and Friday. We've already taken a step up in our temperatures. Right now, many of us are in the mid-50s, a little bit cooler in Newport, but a little bit warmer in Roseburg. You're at 60 degrees. We do have mid to upper 30s across the mountain passes, but I am tracking warmer temperatures. Yes, many of us are going to climb into the 60s, not even the 50s. We're going to get past that. More sunshine is on the way, and we are also looking at maybe a dry Easter. I'll have more details coming up in just a bit. Bob?
Okay, Marissa, thank you so much. A Michigan State University dean is facing sexual misconduct charges. He's accused of groping and propositioning medical students and collecting nude pictures of them on his computer. William Strample was arrested Monday, and charges were read to him today. Prosecutors say he used his office to harass, discriminate, demean, sexually proposition, and sexually assault female students. Strample was the boss of Larry Nassar, the former doctor for Michigan State and USA Gymnastics, who sexually abused young girls for decades. The rift between the West and Russia is deepening this week with the announcement of the mass expulsion of Russian diplomats and spies around the whole world. ABC's Tara Palmieri has the latest from D.C.
The U.S. and its allies taking action against Russia for their alleged poisoning of a former Russian spy and his daughter in Britain. The U.S. is deporting 60 Russian diplomats and shutting down a Russian consulate in Seattle, leaving just 3 others open. More than 20 other countries joining the U.S., making it the biggest mass expulsion of Russian diplomats since the Cold War.
The Russian government must understand that there are serious consequences for its destabilizing actions.
President Trump condemned the suspected Russian government attack through his press office, but never mentioned it when he spoke to Russian President Vladimir Putin last week. And Mr. Trump's name doesn't appear on the official statement.
It looks like it. I spoke with the Prime Minister, and we are in deep discussions. A very sad situation. It certainly looks like the Russians were behind it. Something that should never, ever happen.
Speaking from Prague, House Speaker Paul Ryan praised the coordinated response.
Solidarity on this frontier of freedom is more important than ever. It's everything, really.
Firing back, Russian Foreign Minister Sergei Lavrov calling it, quote, a provocative step and warned that they would respond quickly. NATO Secretary General Jens Stoltenberg not backing down.
Russia has underestimated the unity of NATO allies.
The European Union warning of more to come.
Additional measures, including further expulsions within the common EU framework, are not to be excluded in the coming days and weeks.
Today, a spokesperson for the National Security Council said the Trump administration has yet to enact the recommended sanctions on a list of Russian oligarchs. Tara Palmieri, ABC News, Washington.
Tara, thank you very much. It appears Facebook CEO Mark Zuckerberg has succumbed to pressure from U.S. lawmakers. He'll now testify at a Senate hearing on April 10th. This all comes after Cambridge Analytica reportedly accessed information from about 50 million Facebook users without their knowledge. Zuckerberg's willingness to testify means Google CEO Sundar Pichai and Twitter CEO Jack Dorsey could be next. The Senate Judiciary Chairman Chuck Grassley officially invited all of them to that hearing. And of course, all this is raising the question of what Facebook collects and what we can do to limit it. Experts say the only way to control what Facebook collects is to limit what you do on the site. But as Pat Doris found out, those apps you allow to work on your Facebook page is something you can control.
On the streets of Portland, I found some general concern about the information Facebook collects on users. Ben Stropp noticed the site began suggesting ads for products he'd looked at.
I'm like, man, okay, they're really tracking what's coming through my phone onto Facebook and social media. And so that concerns me.
Catherine Webb noticed her phone is constantly tracking her location and suggesting places to stop or eat.
Well, the whole thing is a little bit concerning because there's a lot of data that is about you all the time, collected with and without your knowledge.
Last year, Ash Rogers did what a growing number of people are doing now. He stopped using Facebook.
It just got to be too big and too scary. Like, I don't know what it's doing and what it's taking from my life and where it's going and who's profiting from it.
The question is more pointed now after the Cambridge Analytica scandal. Cybersecurity expert Travis Smith says the best way to protect yourself, limit those clicks.
You just say, give me access so I can see what this is about, and they're gathering pretty much your entire profile.
Facebook admits it collects 70 different data points on users. 70. It's everything from photos to birth dates, pokes, political views, posts, and much more. You cannot limit Facebook, but you can limit the apps that you added to your Facebook page, and here's how. From your desktop, click the arrow on the upper right, then click Settings. Next, click Apps. I have 17, more than I thought. Most have permissions to only share with me, but I don't need these 3 anymore, so I'm hitting the X on the right to delete them. You should too.
Great information. Thank you so much, Pat. Now, the process is similar for your phone. For Android, you should start with the 3 lines on the upper right. It is the lower right on iPhones.
Good afternoon. I'm Matt Templeman. New on KEZI 9 News at 5 o'clock. A child was taken to the hospital this morning after being run over by a tractor. Fire crews in Eugene tell us the very latest on the minor's condition. Plus, multiple coffee stands in Roseburg were broken into. The thief getting away with cash. Why police believe all those burglaries are related. Bob.
All right, Matt, thank you. But first, free-range parenting. Utah is the first state to legally make it okay for people to let their kids go unsupervised, but not without some major backlash. That story coming up next. Utah has become the first state to legalize free-range parenting. That's when parents let their kids go unsupervised as a way to encourage independence. But as Amy Robach tells us, the bill is already facing major backlash, with some critics saying it could put children's safety at risk.
Okay. It's the controversial parenting method designed to let kids be kids, just with a little less parental supervision. And now one state is standing by the concept of free-range parenting. The governor of Utah signing a bill into law Friday that gives parents the freedom to allow their children to do more activities independently without being penalized for child neglect, like walking to school, playing outside, and staying home alone.
We want kids to be able to learn how to navigate the world so that when they're adults, they're fully prepared to handle things on their own.
The bill, which passed unanimously, is the first of its kind in the U.S. and permits a child whose basic needs are met and who is of sufficient age and maturity to avoid harm to engage in those independent activities.
The way you get brave and self-sufficient and problem-solving is by doing some things on your own.
Lenore Skenazy first coined the phrase free-range parenting back in 2008 after she wrote an article about why she let her then 9-year-old son ride the subway alone. Since then,
we have to let parents be rational and loving and trust their kids and give them the independence that we all cherish.
Besides fear for their child's safety, some parents worry they might face legal ramifications if they give their children some independence. In 2015, the Maitiv family of Silver Spring, Maryland made headlines when authorities accused them of child neglect after they allowed their 2 children, ages 6 and 10, to play and walk home from a local park unsupervised.
Our rights were violated. I mean, the Constitution very clearly protects parents' rights to raise their kids the way they see fit.
Those charges were ultimately dropped, and the Maitivs say they still consider themselves free-range parents.
Now, doctors say free-range parenting should come from some common sense ideas. They advise parents to practice free-range parenting in areas of the community that are well known to you and your family. All right, health alert, the human papillomavirus, Causes a number of cancers, of course, but the good news, there's an effective vaccine to protect against it. The bad news, boys aren't being given the shots as much as girls. A study found 65% of girls had started the vaccine course in 2016, but only 56% of boys had. Now, researchers may have discovered the reason. They found that parents of boys were more likely to say their healthcare provider hadn't offered them the vaccine. They also found more than 20% of parents say they don't think it's necessary. The Commerce Department announced the 2020 census will include a citizenship question. The census is meant to count total population and helps inform decisions on things like federal funding and congressional districts. Critics say the question is anti-immigrant and would result in lower population counts and therefore less federal funding for states with high immigration populations. California and New York are now suing the administration over the move.
Well, here's your live Traffic 9 update where we're looking at great driving conditions across the area. Again, likely due to the fact it's spring break and half the people are somewhere else. But you can see we are looking at some good driving conditions through Albany down to Corvallis as we slide down I-5 and into the southern Willamette Valley. Pretty good driving conditions, a little bit slower along West 11th as well as out towards Thurston. Just some slower traffic getting on your way towards Jasper. As you take a look even farther to the south, Roseburg looking at good driving conditions here. No accidents across the area. I'll have a closer look at your forecast and what you can expect through the rest of this week next.
Now, Storm Tracker 9 weather with Chief Meteorologist Marissa Walzek.
Well, we are looking at plenty of clouds across the area, though there is some sunshine, especially out along the coast. The rest of us, it's going to take us some time to get to the sunnier skies. Coos Bay, North Bend, though, definitely more sunshine here, but also plenty of clouds. Florence, seeing plenty of clouds across the area, though temperatures not too bad. We're at 52 degrees, which is actually just 2 degrees below normal for this time of year. You are going to see even warmer temperatures, though, as we get into tomorrow, and especially throughout the rest of this week. We're 50 in Newport, 55 in North Bend, along I-5, 56 in both Corvallis and Eugene, 57 in Cottage Grove, 60 in Roseburg. We do have mid to upper 30s across the mountain passes. But here on Storm Tracker 9 satellite radar, you can see plenty of clouds all across western Oregon. Some showers, yes, to our north. We have had a few showers across Santiam Pass in the form of rain as temperatures have just been too warm. But as we get into tonight and tomorrow, we are going to dry out, though we're definitely going to still see the clouds stick around. And I also expect some patchy fog to develop as we get into tonight. So taking a look at Storm Tracker 9 Stormcast, we'll start things off at 5, head through midnight tonight. Looking at more clouds still across the area, some patchy fog, though, developing through the Willamette Valley, Umpqua Basin, and along the coast. By the time we get through 6 a.m., Stormcast is going to try to hold on to some showers. Not going to rule out some drizzle along the coast, so not even amounting to anything in terms of what the rain gauge actually picks up. But I do expect many of us to start off with the clouds and that patchy fog. Eventually, that will all burn off by the time we get to lunchtime, though we may see it hold on a little bit longer in a couple of spots. Roseburg usually tend to have that fog hold on until we get into the afternoon, but eventually it will burn off. We'll be back to clearer skies late in the day, and we'll keep skies clear as we get into Wednesday night, and we will keep it clear as well as we get to Thursday as our temperatures begin to climb. Tomorrow, they'll be even a little bit warmer than this afternoon. Right now, we're about the low to mid 50s. Tomorrow, we're going to be in the upper 50s. For those of you in the Umpqua Basin, today we're right at about 60 degrees. Tomorrow, climbing into the low to mid 60s with more sunshine the second half of the day. And the Willamette Valley, today we're in about the mid to upper 50s. Tomorrow, we'll be closer to 60 degrees, and we won't stop there. We do have warmer temperatures even expected through the rest of the week along the coast. We'll make a run for 60 degrees each day. It's looking like the warmest day will be Saturday at about 61 degrees. Now, the Umpqua Basin, we're going to climb to the upper 60s, if not 70 degrees. Definitely not going to rule out places reaching that 70 degree mark as we get into Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Man, it's hard to believe. 70 degrees. Whew, that would be nice. It's way above normal, though, for this time of year. Cascade Passes expecting the 50s and a lot of sunshine through the weekend. And finally, for the Willamette Valley, we're also going to see warmer temperatures. Average temperatures this time of year about 57. So we are going to see low 60s as we head through the next couple of days. Kind of nice to see some warmer temperatures after definitely seeing cooler than normal temperatures all through last week. And with the rain, we are still, yes, below our average rainfall. I still would like to get a couple good storms moving through, but it is also nice to have the breaks in between the big storms that bring us all the rain and get those sun breaks, especially for spring break with a lot of people staying home if you weren't lucky enough to go travel somewhere. You and me, it'd be nice, you know, to see some sunshine. I'm sure there's many other people that would agree with us.
I love the temperatures going up
Yes.
every day. Thank you very much, Marissa. Well, new information now about a data breach with the Oregon Department of Revenue. The people affected might have their tax filing affected. State officials say last month a Department of Revenue employee uploaded about 36,000 account records to a personal cloud storage account. Investigators say no information was leaked, but as a precaution, they're sending out notices to victims. And they also say you could have to provide additional proof of identity when you file your personal income tax. Speaking of taxes, a new study found people plan to put some of their refund into savings. This year, tax experts say about 80% of people filing taxes will get money back. Many people already know what to do with that cash even before it comes.
As you think about receiving this refund this year, we recommend certainly don't spend it until you actually receive it. That's a good thing, until it arrives.
I must have missed that memo. All right, according to a SunTrust Bank survey, 22% of the refunds will go towards travel and entertainment, 18% towards things like groceries and clothing, and 13% on home improvements. The majority of the money, though, will go towards savings and paying off that debt. All right, to simply save, experts say to immediately move your refund out of your checking account and into your savings. That way, you aren't tempted to splurge on fly fishing. All right, coming up, we'll take a look at the new ways scientists are swimming with the fishes so they can learn more about life under the sea. Stay with us. KZI 9 News at 4. We'll be right back. Apple revealed a new budget iPad targeted towards students today. Apple executives showed off the device at a school in Chicago. It's the same size as the traditional iPad and costs $299 for schools and $329 for everybody else. The company also talked about software pictures designed specifically for teachers and students and a series of apps for the classroom. That'll help. And check this out. Meet Sophie. She's an 18-long-inch robot fish with a fisheye lens used to spy on other fish. The robot fish was designed by a group of scientists at MIT. It can swim naturally alongside other fish. It looks pretty natural. It's made of a soft silicone rubber, flexible plastic, and 3D printed pieces. The quiet motor-powered table mimics the movement of real fish and also has sensors to help it avoid running into marine environments like delicate reefs. I'd like to catch one of those fish. That would be fun. That does it for us here on KZI 9 News at 4. Thank you so much for joining us. Coming up next at 5, police discovered 10 transients living in a vacant house in the Bethel neighborhood, and some had warrants out for their arrest. We have a live report on how neighbors are reacting to that tonight. Plus, somebody broke into an Oregon brewery and stole thousands of dollars meant to go toward a children's hospital. How the business is working to make back those donations. Those stories and a whole lot more coming up next on KZI 9 News at 5 with Matt Templeman.